Hello, everybody. How is it going? Welcome to Cantina Social Hour. Happy Friday. Good to see everybody in the house. I see a lot of our usual Cantina patrons with us this evening, so thank you for being here with us. Hope everybody's had a great week. It's Revenge of the 5th, aka Cinco de Mayo. Yesterday was May the 4th, and we're going to talk some Star Wars tonight. We're going to talk some Return of the Jedi, some 40th anniversary. We're going to talk new reveals from Hasbro Star Wars. We're going to talk new reveals from Hot Toys, because there's been a couple of reveals there too. And we're going to talk about new acquisitions added into our collection. A little bit of everything. So good evening, everybody. Kick back, relax, and have fun. That's how we do this, to have fun. And to hang out with us this evening, of course, who else other than the one and only Grumpy Tom himself. Tom, how's it going?
I'm very grumpy and annoyed about stuff. Star Wars just makes me mad these days. Mad, I tell you. I'm good. How are you, Victoria?
I'm splendid.
Happy Cinco de Mayo, not Revenge of the 5th, Star Wars, folks. You get your holiday yesterday. Today's Cinco de Mayo. Today's the day that white people celebrate Mexican food.
I always thought Revenge of the 6th sounded better to me.
Yeah, for sure.
Than 5th.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can have Revenge of the 6th. That's fine. But today's already a holiday.
Yeah.
And
you can make jokes about why it's Revenge of the 6th, but we won't go there. We're not that immature. So we were off last week. I had a cold. I'm still trying to get over the stupid cold, but it's a lot better. I'm like at 70%, I would say.
Oh, good.
So I'm well enough to do this, and I wouldn't miss it if I didn't have to. So I'm glad everybody's with us. Let's see who's in the house this evening, Tom. So we have Collector 1970. Yeah, let's hear it for the 40th. Absolutely. 40 to 40. No, I mean for Return of the, not for me, for Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, not for me either. I'm older than that.
Not quite there yet. Dodgson, how's it going? Good to see you as always. Paul, how are you doing? Good to see you too. Yeah, I love the enthusiasm for Grumpy Tom and Victoria. Let's go. Absolutely, let's go. Paul, how are you doing? Good evening, all Cantina customers. Absolutely. Good evening. Adam, happy Friday to you. Thank you for joining us tonight. Woohoo. We got Pico B1 in the house.
I'd love to have my window open, but
oh wow, that's a pretty good glass. Leave it cracked open if you want.
Maybe when it quiets down, if it quiets down. It's Friday night here in Brooklyn, New York.
It's Friday night. Yeah, it's Friday night here too. So yeah, awesome. Still celebrating the 4th and the 5th and Cinco de Mayo. There you go, all in one. I mean, why not? Why not? That's the way to do it.
Always an excuse to drink.
Yes. Let's see who else is is with us. Always two there are. Yeah, absolutely. I guess there can't be just May the 4th. It's got to be more than one holiday. Nice. Jason, how's it going? I owe you a box, Jason. I need to get that out to you. I'm sorry it's late. Who's ready for some Force Ghost stories tonight? Yeah, definitely. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
Ghosts aren't real, guys. Ghosts aren't real.
Or are they? Milky Way Skywalker, how's it going? Good to see you. It's been almost a year since I met Milky Way Skywalker at Star Wars Celebration.
Oh, fun!
Can't believe it's been. Oh, gosh, the time is. I can't believe it's been that quick. Wow. So he says his last day of 8th grade, in 1983, he saw Return of the Jedi. And yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. That is very, very awesome. Same theater Steven Spielberg went as teacher. That's awesome. Love that.
Before I was in school for me, but
Collector 1970 says had to go to work early tomorrow, but I don't want to miss this. So thank you, because you can always catch it on the replay, but it's never as interesting on the replay because when it's live, anything can happen, right? Anything can happen. I don't go back and edit these anyway, but when it's live, anything can happen. So you're seeing it in real time. Well, maybe there's like a second delay. I don't really know, but it's basically
pretty close. It's pretty close. But you can't. You'll see all of my shenanigans if I get too drunk on here.
Yeah, don't do that.
Victoria would cut that out.
Yeah, we would stop the stream probably. Good behavior only.
Iced tea tonight.
Iced tea. There you go. Relatively new here, so we have another Paul. Paul, how's it going? I don't know. Do you guys know each other? Maybe not. But we're happy to have everyone who's here. Utah Dan, how are you doing? Good to see you as well.
Utah Don.
Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, Victoria and Tom, absolutely together again, huh?
I'm not that exciting, guys.
How we doing?
Same as always.
That bad, huh?
Star Wars.
Star Wars, man.
Ooh, that is a good thumbnail.
Yeah, that is a good thumbnail. I love that. Look at all those old vintage figures. Hello, happy May the 4th. Yeah. Darkonin, I hope I'm saying that correctly. The Venerable Cinerama Theater here in Honolulu is boarded up. So I haven't watched all 3 OT Star Wars movies there. That's cool. Or that you saw them there. It's not cool that it's boarded up. The one in LA has been boarded up for a few years now. And they just updated, I think today, that they're gonna, the Cinerama Theater and Sunset Boulevard, that they're gonna reopen it next year. So I've never been there, but I'm glad it's reopening, and I'd love to go see a movie there because it's really, it looks the same like it's always looked. It's a really old theater.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Nicholas, welcome from Malaysia. It's already the 6th over there.
There you go.
Thank you for joining us. We love that people tune in from all over the place. You want feeling ghostly tonight? Okay, so we'll have something, maybe. Mary, good to see you. Thank you for joining us this evening. Glad that you are here. Awesome. So good little crowd that we got here this evening, Tom.
Yes, hello.
Hello there. That was terrible. So what do you want to talk about first, Tom? So I mentioned we're going to talk Return of the Jedi 40th. We're going to talk new reveals. We're going to talk new acquisitions. Where do you want to start? I'll let you pick.
Let's start with the reveals from Wednesday. Let's talk about the Wednesday reveals. Right? Let's get some news out of the way. A little news action, right? So I made a little list here.
Okay. I'll pull up some pictures.
Okay. Am I hearing my cat, or am I hearing? Oh no, it's my wife. My wife's home.
Hey.
We've had an adventurous day, yes.
Have you?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. We're going to go and look at Yak Face's Instagram because that's very convenient for us to do.
Always
good. All right, so yeah, so good old Jason at Yak Face, posting the news and the updates. So makes it easy for us. Thank you, Jason. We appreciate you. We're going to look at
I use those links.
Nice, love it. We're going to use his picks here to talk about new reveals. I guess let's start with I like lightsabers. Lightsabers are cool, so why not? Let's not Hasbro, but let's start with this anyway. There's this Cal Kestis lightsaber that was a Shop Disney and Disney Parks exclusive, based on Jedi Survivor, which came out last week. And yeah, so it's cool. I don't think I'm going to get this one, but I like lightsabers, so it's a lightsaber, y'all.
Yeah, that's fun. Lightsabers aren't really my thing either. I don't collect them. The only one I've got was one that a friend gave me. It's a Kylo Ren one. But yeah, it looks good if you're into lightsabers, and especially if you're into that game. I'm not familiar with the game either, so can't comment much on it.
Yeah, I played Fallen Order and I loved it, but I haven't gone Jedi Survivor because I don't have a PS5. I have a PS4, so womp womp.
Yeah, you'll in time you'll get it when it's not $600.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So there was that. Let's see what else here. So, all right. So these went up yesterday. I know these had already been announced, but these were Walmart exclusives. Bad Batch Season 2 in the Black Series. Basically repaints of the crew, plus the Commando, the Republic Commando, there in the center. Tom, did you pre-order these guys?
No, I got most of them from the first season, and I'm not the biggest fan of the show. I think it's okay, but it's not really for me. So I stopped pretty early on the Bad Batch characters. They all look pretty nice, but
They do.
yeah, it doesn't. Those ones aren't for me, but they do look nice. They're certainly more interesting designs than the first season versions, where everything is just gray, like straight up gray on gray
Yeah.
on gray.
Yeah, more colorful.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they're cool. I mean, it's an easy way for them to pump them out again and make more,
Yeah.
double their money on them, basically. So, I mean, I ordered them. I like the characters. I don't
Yeah.
necessarily love the show as much as,
Mhm.
like some other Star Wars content, but I like the designs of the characters. I think they're fun.
Oh, sure. Mhm.
So I did order them. I ordered 2 of the Clone Commandos because, there's more than one in the show.
Are there?
Oh yeah, there's a ton of them. You've seen The Bad Batch, haven't you?
I've seen some of it. I haven't watched all of it. I've watched
Oh,
maybe
okay.
5 or 6 episodes from the first season and only a couple from the second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're season 2 things. So they kind of guard more of the like the higher, like more important imperial like admirals or kind of like the Death Troopers, but you see
okay.
these guys more around like lower level, not quite like Director Krennic or Moff Gideon, but like the lower levels, like but still like officers. They guard some of them like on certain places.
Is
So
it true that they had an episode where just it like pans to Director Krennic and he says something like "Yes, sir," and everyone was like excited that Krennic was in
yeah, that is true. And it was actually voiced by Ben Mendelsohn. So
They probably just
I think
pulled
that's
the
kind of
audio
cool.
from
I think
Rogue
that's
One.
cool, and I think that could be a sign of things to come. Maybe not necessarily just in the Bad Batch, but
I'm
Andor
hoping he
season
shows
2
up
is
in Andor.
coming.
I'm
I know.
really
I hope
hoping
so
he shows
too.
up in Andor.
I loved him in Rogue One. I hope he's yeah,
He's a lot of fun.
he is. All right, and then finally, this was shown at Celebration last year. I remember seeing it in person.
Yeah.
Finally, they put this up for pre-order on Shop Disney and Hasbro Pulse.
Oh, finally. Yeah.
And I ordered 2 of them because,
So did I.
one to open, one to keep carded. Didn't order 3, I ordered 2. So yeah, I'm excited because this has been a long time. I don't know why it took so long, honestly.
Yeah, no idea, because we've known about that, for like a year, right? It's like
For a long time. Yeah.
I'm very excited for that. Mine's already shipped, which I'm excited about. So it should arrive next week. I've got 2 as well, but they're all going to be carded for my future display. For anyone that's not familiar, I have a future display in mind where I make what looks like an old toy aisle. So that's why I keep certain modern things on card. But yeah, I'm very excited for those. Now we just need a wave 2 of Return of the Jedi. That'd be cool, right?
That'd be really cool to get a wave 2 Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad these are coming finally. Finally finished the original 12. So yeah, those are the kind of retro collection I like. I'm not such a huge fan of like the Book of Boba Fett, like retro, or Mandalorian retro, or Obi-Wan Kenobi retro. Like I could have completely done without any of those.
Yep.
These
I
are
like
the kind
them
of
just fine, but
yeah, they're okay. But I much prefer like reissues of the original ones because frankly, I wasn't around and I didn't get them. And, it's easier to get them like this than to go on eBay and hunt them down so.
Yeah, especially complete. You can buy the figures relatively cheap, but to get their little accessories, that's like, double the amount of money right there.
Yeah.
And they're close enough.
They're close enough. All right. So Doc Ondar, the animatronic from Galaxy's Edge. So this was a Shop Disney exclusive. And it's for pre-order. It's not for sale. It hasn't shipped yet, but I think it said it's going to ship in June is what Shop Disney said. And yeah, it's a really cool animatronic. If you ever get an opportunity to go to Galaxy's Edge, he's pretty cool. He doesn't do a lot, but it's just really cool to see like an animatronic of an Ithorian, which is the coolest alien in all Star Wars.
Agreed.
And yeah, so I pre-ordered this one for sure because it was just like, I mean, it's an Ithorian. I mean, it's a 6-inch Ithorian, and it's got accessories, and he's wearing it like clothes, like an actual outfit, not like, well, I don't even know what Hammerhead was wearing, but he was kind of scantily clad. I think he's got to be careful, who he's going around because He needs to suit up a little bit more. But this guy has clothes on.
Yeah, this is an incredible looking figure. For the price tag, I've passed on it for the moment, but I may change my mind down the road. The thing that excites me the most about this is that means they've made the mold to make an Ithorian, so that means Hammerhead should be coming down the pipe soon enough.
Yeah.
But I might just go and get this guy instead.
Yeah.
Yes,
I
it's
would. I mean,
gorgeous. Yeah, I
it
mean
is.
it looks great. It looks great. That's certainly the sort of thing like I bet they'll sell it at Galaxy's Edge, which is smart because that's totally the sort of thing that if I was at Galaxy's Edge and they were selling the figure there, I would 100% buy him then.
Totally. And how can they not reuse it or repurpose it as Hammerhead at some point?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they'd be fools not to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's really cool. I'm excited. Yeah, so there was that. Let's see what else here. So, these right here, the Ewoks. So a couple years ago, they released the droids, Target exclusives in the U.S., and it was Boba Fett, C-3PO, and R2-D2. Now we're getting into Ewoks, and there's Wicket W. Wark and Nisa. So both of these are, I think they're on Hasbro Pulse. I ordered mine from Entertainment Earth, and they come together in a set. So you don't buy them separately; you buy them together in a set. So
How much is that? Yeah.
They were like, I don't remember, like $35 or something. A little pricey, but
Yeah, a little pricey, but I love Ewoks, so I haven't pre-ordered these yet, but I can see myself doing it. I absolutely adore Ewok figures. And I don't have
they're
it.
cool. And I mean, it makes sense. They did the droids ones. I mean, this kind of same sort of thing. It fits. It's a fun little thing. But I want to see everything Ewoks. No, but just for like a one-off thing, I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. So I like them. I think they're fun.
Yeah, they're super cute.
Black Series got some reveals. So there is the Mandalorian, based on his appearance in the book of Boba Fett, which don't know why we needed a Mandalorian based on the book of Boba Fett, but
this one just made me laugh when I saw it. I was like, really? The Mandalorian again?
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, it kind of makes sense, when the show is on that you would have these figures on the shelf, right? Because, kids or whomever sees the show, oh, I want to go get a Mandalorian figure. And it's like, oh, but he's coming out when the show's gone off the air. So it's a little strange, but I do notice that like his knee pad and his like the little things flaps under his belt are blue this time, which I guess is accurate. I hadn't noticed that personally in the show,
Yeah, I
but
hadn't.
yeah, so there's some, and I think the dark saber, like it looks like it's a new sculpt. I could be wrong, but to me it looks like a new sculpt.
Yeah, and someone mentioned it in Darkening in the chat. I hope this Mando has a new head sculpt. Yeah, apparently the head sculpt is updated. So
okay, I didn't realize it had a head sculpt, but that's good to know. Yeah, it has a cloth cape, which is nice. That's preferable for a figure like this.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think they should have just gone back and resculpted the whole thing because the original one was okay. It wasn't like one of the greatest figures. I remember like the legs being kind of rubbery and like the sculpt like not being 100% like dead on. But hopefully it's the best one, I guess. There
it's
was
that guy again.
Yeah, there's that guy again. Everybody loves Mando. This one was a really cool announcement. So season 3 Ahsoka Tano. And I always say it, give me more Clone Wars, give me more prequels.
Yeah.
Those are the figures that I'm all for when it comes to Black Series. Like I buy them all when it comes to like prequels and Clone Wars. Because that's great stuff. The figure itself looks great. There's more pictures out there. And I really I'm excited for this one. I think she's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I pre-ordered that one for sure. I'm really excited for that one because I love Ahsoka from Clone Wars era. I love Ahsoka.
Yeah, she looks great. She really does.
Yeah, like, the poses are exceptional because they're all such like classic.
Also her expression though, like yeah, like she looks like herself. So
yeah,
yeah, I'm always down for more of that. In addition to Ahsoka, there is a Phase 2 clone trooper from the Clone Wars. I'm surprised they didn't put Andor on the box for this one.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I think this is the newer clone sculpt. Yeah, it is. And it has the head seems to have, I think they may have resculpted the head. I'm not 100% sure. I know it has a removable helmet. But the helmet looks better than it did before because, as you know, they just released in the vintage collection the brand new clone sculpt based on Andor, and the helmet is just doesn't look good at all. It looks really squinty. It doesn't look good. So it looks like for this one they actually did make an adjustment on the helmet. So that's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, that is cool.
That is really cool to see.
That said, I'm good on my white clones. I'm set. I'm all set.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and look at the next one here. So we have the Magna Guard. The Magna Guard is a welcome one too. Because like I said, these featured heavily in Revenge of the Sith, and I think that's kind of what the artwork is based on there. But they were in Clone Wars as well. And I think sometimes in Clone Wars they didn't even have capes.
Right. They couldn't do cloth for the first season of Clone Wars.
Yeah, this is cool. This looks really cool. I just hope it's not like the TVC one from 10 years ago that didn't stand. I hope this one has standing capabilities.
Good luck. Yeah, I think this looks spectacular. I did not order it. I might get it down the line. Magna Guards were never my biggest. I was never crazy about them. I think they look pretty cool, but I still want my darn super battle droid. That's what I want.
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
It's a great looking figure though. Yeah, and that's a good pose.
Does this one not? Oh, it does. I see him here in the picture. I was going to ask about the electronic, or not electronic, but like the little effects. It looks like it does in fact have them in the box. So cool. It's weird that they're not in some of the pics, but yeah, that's nice. I'm excited about that. There's a Chewbacca. This is a repack, I think, from the current Black Series 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi subline. Picture's kind of weird that they did on the side because that's like Empire Chewbacca. I don't know why they didn't just use like Return of the Jedi Chewbacca. But either way, there's the figure. It's decent. I mean, like with Chewbacca, they've done so many of them at this point using the sculpt. Yeah. So it's like, yeah. If you're basically buying it to get the chain on his neck. Then he's actually more like a dog now.
Right. Yeah. I don't need I don't need that one. My favorite Chewbacca is the one from Solo, because that was my favorite Chewbacca movie. That was the one where he really came out as a character to me in a way that I absolutely adored. So that's my Chewbacca, the Solo one.
Yeah.
The Royal Chewbacca.
All right. So there's Chewie being repacked. Wicket is getting repacked. So, I'm not too sure about some of these getting repacks. I don't think I needed to be repacked in the main line. No. But yeah, there's Wicket. He's a fantastic figure. Did you pick up this one yet?
No, $25 is a lot for me to buy an Ewok.
Wait until he's like on a deal or something. But he's still I really like that figure. I really like that figure a lot.
Yeah, he looks great, but it's just
he does.
The price is too much to swallow for me. Because I've got the vintage collection ones. I've got my actual vintage ones. So I'm always good on these days with Black Series. I'm way more picky about it.
Yeah.
Because they're not. A lot of the time they're not grabbing me. They're just kind of like, oh, okay, it's another repaint of this, it's another repaint of that.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of, I've mentioned it before. It's just like if they're going to charge more for deluxe figures, like $35, $40 for a figure that's a little bit bigger and has maybe a couple more accessories, like charge less for some of these smaller ones. Like, $25 for Wicket. I don't know about that.
No.
I don't know about that.
Not for me.
No, it's tough. Anyhow, so there was also, again, here we go, deluxe Darth Malgus.
Deluxe, yeah.
From the Old Republic, of course. This is the one based off of the Old Republic. They made this one in TVC a number of years ago.
Yep.
And then they re-released it as a slight repaint in the Black Series 3 3/4 inch line in like 2014 or so. And then yeah, so it looks cool. It looks really cool. I'm down for like Jedi and Sith figures, even if it's like from a game I never played.
Yep.
Because it just looks cool, right? And you can create your own like ideas around it or stories around it.
Yeah, I mean, it's always fun to have a little Sith collection, right? Here's all my Sith Lords, and here's another Darth guy. Yeah, I dig this one. I pre-ordered this one for sure. I think the price tag is suspect, but I think it's the Sith Lord. We're going to pay more for Sith Lord tags, but
yeah,
but he looks like a great figure. So
he does. He looks very Darth Vader. I've always thought that.
Oh yeah, I mean, all those things are riffs off of Darth Vader.
Sure, right? Sure. Like if he walked around like without like the mask, like he looked kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. This guy has more flexibility though, I think, than Darth Vader, because I never saw Darth Vader do that.
No, I didn't see him do that either. Not even in Obi-Wan Kenobi, the series.
Let's see. So there were also some pipeline reveals. And these are always weird to me because I just don't understand like the archive. Like I know that they've said that the point is to get older figures out for newer fans, but I mean like Bo-Katan was just out. Like you could still get her like for fairly inexpensively.
Yeah. Same with Luke Skywalker in the pilot outfit, right? Didn't he just come out?
Is that Luke? I couldn't tell who that was.
Yeah, it's Luke Skywalker in the pilot outfit. He was just out in archive like last year.
He was in the first archive wave, if that's who that is.
Oh, okay. Maybe that was a while back then.
Yeah, but still, he was in the archive line.
Right. Darth Vader's on shelves now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's in the 40th Return of the Jedi subline. So
yeah,
and then Stormtrooper. I mean, okay, I can kind of see that because it's an army builder, but
yeah, you can always have a Stormtrooper on shelves.
The others, like, I mean, I don't know, but that's beyond.
Doesn't excite me to see any of those ones, but
it doesn't, and maybe that's the intent. But I just don't want to see figures on this just sit on the shelf because people just bought them recently.
Yeah, Bo-Katan was at our local secondhand shop for 6 months or something like that. Bo-Katan and whatever the other girl Mandalorian was, and Paz Vizsla is there now. So if you want it for $20, you can get him down the street from me, or you can have mine.
All right, and let's touch on the pipelines really quickly here. So, all right. So for pipeline, there is a Mandalorian season 3 Paz Vizsla. Which all right. I mean, I didn't think he looked that different from the previous figure, but I guess now he's going to have his shields. So if you want to spend $35 to buy him again, you get the little shields, and I don't know what else he comes with.
Yeah.
Walmart's going to have this astromech droid. I didn't catch his name. I mean, I loved seeing the look of his dome that I didn't catch his name, but
yeah, it's cute. I don't know what his name is either.
Yeah, he's cool. Young Anakin is kind of neat because we haven't had young Anakin in the line. Padme, I think, is a great choice.
Heck yes.
Yeah, finally
yes.
another
more
Padmes.
More Padmes.
Please more. There's plenty that they can do.
Yeah.
And then they're also having there's this new helmet for this guy here.
It's a repaint, right? It's a repaint of the helmet.
Yeah, they've repainted this helmet a million times.
Yeah.
A million times. But before we continue, so I think that covers all the pretty much all the Hasbro. Well, there's a few more, but before we continue, for just a moment, I want to go ahead. It looks like our other pal was able to join us this evening. Fortunately for us, Dave, welcome.
Hello, Dave.
Hey guys, what's up?
Good to see you.
You just all you missed was me complaining about repaints.
Of course. Yeah. That's fun. Yeah, a lot of fun stuff announced. It was a pretty awesome May the 4th.
Yeah, it was. Thanks for being here, Dave. It's great to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah.
Good to see you as always. Back to the reveals. Fives. Gosh darn fives. Walmart exclusive fives right there.
Yeah.
I missed him. He was completely out by the point in time that I popped in.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you sold out.
broke my heart. That's one of the figures I've wanted for years now. I've got Echo. I thought the previous one was fives.
They'll look the same. I mean,
yeah, they're pretty
Yeah.
similar.
He'll come back. He'll come back.
Yeah.
I'm sure he will.
Oh yeah, man. That I want that. I want him. Mhm.
You'll get him. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll trade a Paz Vizsla for him. If anyone out there has got a second one, you want a Paz Vizsla figure. I couldn't care less about that character. Fives, on the other hand, he's great. He's great.
Staying on Black Series, there is another Grievous coming. It's a repaint. Battle Damage Grievous in Gaming Greats. I guess this one is based on Battlefront 2. What do you guys think of this one?
Yeah,
Good
looks
excuse.
good. Yeah.
Good excuse to put Grievous back out. I don't need him. I've got 2 Grievouses.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just hope they're using the stiffer plastic they use on the Clone Wars one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this guy.
The one that you made the cape for. This one is
tightened the cape on him.
Yeah. You moved the cape.
He's so fantastic. It's a great figure.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, that's cool. What else do we have? We have another helmet.
It's a repaint.
Axe Wolves, another repainted helmet. I'm skipping this one. I don't need Axe Wolves' helmet.
I don't even know
have
who that
several
is.
helmets, but I don't need this one.
Yeah.
Let's see whom else. For TVC, Book of Boba Fett Deluxe Pack, it's Luke Skywalker and Grogu. Which is interesting because this Luke figure was just shown or announced for the mainline and gone up for pre-order in the mainline. Very similar to what they did with the Tusken Warrior in TVC, and then announcing her in a deluxe pack too with the Massive. But this is kind of cool because he's got the backpack, he's got Grogu, he's got the little Mandalorian chainmail, Beskar chainmail there.
That's cool.
Okay, that's pretty cute. All right.
Yeah, and he's got it laid out there. He's got Yoda's lightsaber.
Did this ever go up today, or
this hasn't gone up yet?
Okay.
I think it was supposed to go up yesterday. It never did.
Yeah, it's a Target thing. Target can't get their act together.
Yeah, and then he's got this really cool little effect with the frogs, which I think is pretty fun.
Okay, that is pretty cute. Totally not for me, but pretty cute.
It is. I mean, will I use it? Maybe, but it's just neat. Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the pre-order. The page is up, but the link doesn't work. So Target, come on, Target with pre-orders, right, Dave? I know you know this very well.
Yeah. Oh, what happened to my video here? That's weird.
Your handsome face broke the camera.
It says my camera is no. That's weird. I don't know. I'm gonna work on this.
If they release Desert Rags Boba Fett with vroom vroom wrist action, I'm going to be upset. I would buy that. Like a bantha.
Like a bantha. Well, while Dave gets his camera going, we'll continue on here. So I think that was it, right? Well, there was this too.
Yeah.
Grand Inquisitor went up for pre-order. So there's that. I don't know I think they're in the same wave, possibly.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so that's cool. I'm always down for more Inquisitors. I mean, like them or hate them, it's kind of like the like Darth Malgus kind of thing. You know, it's like a dark sider with a red lightsaber, and it's an alien. Like, sure, give it to me.
I just didn't care for that character.
Yeah, he was interesting. He was interesting for sure.
Look at that Hot Toys Darth Sidious. I'm not a Hot Toys person, guys.
Let's start with the more boring one first, because we'll build up the anticipation.
All right.
This is Commander Fox.
Yeah.
So based on the Clone Wars, which is cool. You know, Hot Toys obviously recognizes the potential and the popularity of the Clone Wars, and they've done several figures at this point based on the Clone Wars. Mostly clones, of course, because they're easy to do. And yeah, so this is Commander Fox. And I didn't pre-order this one, but I think he looks neat. It's just I don't need to get every single clone variant personally.
Yeah.
But I think that he looks pretty nice. He's supposed to be part of the like the shock troopers like contingent of clones or battalion or whatever, but he doesn't match. Like his red is a lot rustier looking, so like I couldn't even display them together because that would really bother me. But he still looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I think he looks great. Again, not for me, but yeah, it looks fantastic.
Yeah, no, the cool one, of course, and this one I did pre-order.
Oh my god, how much was it?
Darth Sidious. I don't even remember. I don't even ask anymore. I just pre-order.
Cool.
I do my down payment and then I just wait and start making payments like before it comes out. Yeah, so this is really cool. I mean, this is the second Palpatine they've done, and I just think he looks awesome, and it's neat that it's interesting that they didn't go for the Revenge of the Sith look, which is kind of somewhat similar. Yep. They went like full on Clone Wars, and did that, and it's just a really cool look. Like the outfit, like looks awesome.
It just looks spectacular.
Yeah, he does like the tailoring, like it's a really neat like look.
That one I might break on that one. Yeah. I want them to come out with this one for gosh darn Black Series.
That'd be cool.
Like I've made my custom one because I just made the robes and stuff, but oh man, yeah, that just looks so good. It looks fantastic.
Yeah. Once you start down the Hot Toys path forever, will it dominate your destiny?
Well, I'm grateful to say I've only bought one of the 12-inch figures, and it's a Masters of the Universe Scare Glow, and thus far I've stayed away from it. Other than that, but yeah, I'd be more nervous about this.
I haven't, but I mean, I saw your on Instagram today. Your post was amazing with your Revenge of the Fifth. Was awesome. We got to get a YouTube tour or something of that. It's awesome.
Yeah. YouTube tour. Everyone in the chat, YouTube tour. Come on,
it's gonna start any second now. No, I'd love to. I have a couple of new releases waiting to go on the shelf, and probably at that point I'll do that. I wish I could put them all on display, but I can't.
We'll go into Hot Toys and just take
our collections. That's the burden of all toy collectors. Our collections are what they grow beyond us.
That's true. All right.
Yeah, but this is pretty rad. Look at the heads. The head.
That's great. That's awesome.
It's so creepy, but like in the best way possible.
I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm looking at the price tag on it.
Yeah, what I love about the picture, the head is that it's not straight out from, like, we never saw him really have this look in the movies, but in the Clone Wars, like, he totally had this expression when he was dueling, like, Maul in Savage Press.
Yeah.
So this is it's cool. He's got the rolling eyeball, so that'll be a fun thing to have.
I looked at the price tag. I'm not going to buy this. But it's yeah.
How much is it? I forgot.
$265.
That's not so bad for how great that looks. Yeah.
No, it's not. I've got $600 worth of Masters of the Universe stuff pre-ordered, so that's kind of where it's going. But
I've really slowed down on my pre-order game, but I did order the Naboo N1 Starfighter.
Even though I'm not a Mandalorian fan, I ordered one of those too.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good looking ship.
It is.
Excuse me for 1 second.
But no, like I love that they have the payment plans, because for me that's like a lifesaver on some days.
Definitely.
But yeah, no, he looks great. I'm really stoked for this one. I can't wait. It's gonna, of course, be a really long time till he actually comes out, as it always is with Hot Toys. But it just gives me more time to figure out, how I'm gonna display.
What is the like the pipeline on that? Like 18 months or so, or like what is it?
Yeah, usually it's at least about a year and a half, I would say, on average.
Okay.
Like 18 months.
Before this comes out.
Well, generally for like Hot Toys, like usually it takes like a year and a half for them to actually come out, but sometimes it's longer. There's stuff that's like been on like pre-order since like 2020 and it still hasn't come out yet. So I mean, it just kind of depends on what it is. I mean, Star Wars usually like a year and a half.
That kind of stuff is really starting to creep me out. Like the older I am now, like when it's like I pre-ordered the Ahsoka Black Series, and she's like, it's coming out at the end of this year, and there's some of the stuff I saw was like spring 24, and I'm like, it's gonna be here like before I know it, you know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's going faster the older I get, you know.
Yep.
I know. It's interestingly, the time does go by
quick.
kind of fast. It does.
It goes quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I don't have a problem with these pre-orders anymore. It's like, oh, it's gonna take 2 years to get to you. It's like, it's just 2 years, guys.
Yeah, and all these movies that are coming out, we got like 25, 26, 27, and we're, you know,
Wink.
that'll be here. Bink.
Those are definitely going to come out.
Yeah, if they come out, you know, but like those years are still coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, who went and saw Return of the Jedi on the big screen last week?
I didn't. I did not.
What?
I wish I tried so hard. I had some family problems. My kid was actually in the hospital.
Oh.
Yeah, and like I don't know. I couldn't make it happen. I tried it was only in like 2 weekends, right?
Yeah. Is your kid okay?
Like
Yes, yes. Everything's okay now.
Right.
Yeah, there was some other and a bunch of family stuff, and it just couldn't make it happen. But I
Mhm.
wish I could have. I really wanted to, and I was checking like every day on the Fandango.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, it should have run longer. I don't understand. Like it came out last Friday and then it ended yesterday. Like it should have gone at least through the weekend or something.
It didn't make any money.
So it made some money, yeah.
Did it? How much did it make?
It made like $5 million.
Yeah, that's
it was
not
like
a lot of money.
4th or 5th place. It's like decent, I would say.
$5 million.
I hope they do that with the others too. Like
yeah.
I know they did with episode 1 in 3D in 2012. And that was
I wanted to go so bad. Oh man, I'm so mad I couldn't go.
I went to see episode 1 in 3D in Times Square or around Penn Station in 2012 with my friend Jason. It was the best 3D experience I've had since I think that 3D movies were a cheap, dumb gimmick, and I'm glad they've gone away. I think we saw it on the opening day or day after or something like that. There was 6 people in the cinema, including us. One was a woman with a baby, and the baby was screaming and crying. And then a little bit into the movie, some guy gets up. He's like, I'm going to go tell the staff. And I shouted at him, you've already seen this movie. But great cinema experience, despite what you think of the movie. That's a movie I think holds up a lot better. Like a lot of the old criticisms on it now of like, it's like, the battle droids aren't Star Warsy. It's like, well, yeah, now they are, right? So.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, and I remember they were going to do the Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith in 3D too, and then that was like when the Disney acquisition happened, and they threw out the plans for that.
That's because the Phantom Menace bombed so badly.
Right. Yeah, it did.
So that's when he decided he would just sell it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, no, I got to see it on. I was gonna see it last Saturday on the weekend because I mean that's really I would never like normally go to the theater during the week when I'm working, but I was just so sick, like I just couldn't do it. So I went on Tuesday, and I hadn't seen it in the theater since the special edition, and you know it was the most recent cut, I guess the Blu-ray cut, right? So special edition plus plus that, and the Doug walking around Jabba's palace and
the blinking Ewoks.
Yeah, the blinking Ewoks. Yeah,
Jedi rocks.
Jedi. Oh my god, that's
hey, you know what I did do for May the 4th? Am I allowed to say this? I downloaded the 4K 77 and watched the original cut of Star Wars.
Yesterday. Oh, nice.
Yep. It was pretty cool. It worked pretty well, and you know, it was a lot of the like desert scenes were like washed out and stuff like that, and you could like totally see the superimposed stop motion and stuff, just like had those lines around it and stuff. But I haven't seen like an original-ish cut. I don't think I've ever seen the original, but like the VHS cut since like the 90s. It was cool.
A friend of mine put the original high-res cut of Star Wars on a Blu-ray for me as a bachelor party gift. And we watched it on a big screen over at a local place, which is no longer there. Before it said A New Hope or anything like that too.
Yeah.
I miss Return of the Jedi in particular is the one that the changes bothered me the most. Especially the continued tinkering. The Darth Vader yelling no at the end is like such an obvious troll by George Lucas, because everyone laughed at him going no in Revenge of the Sith, right? Like, so he's like, well, I'm gonna make it so that it's in Return of the Jedi too, and it crushes me. Like I have a tough time watching the movie now, because when it gets to that, I'm like, oh, it's gonna be that, and it's always just so.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't know if that was his intent. I mean, maybe it was, but I mean, I know that like with the prequels, like when you watch the original trilogy, there's a lot more like subtlety in some of the, like, especially like Empire and even Return of the Jedi. There's more subtlety in it, and then when you get to the prequels, like Lucas is like they're actively thinking out their thought or talking out what they're thinking, the characters. So I mean, there's a lot more like stuff being explained to you, all the exposition, the stuff at the Senate and the tax routes and all that. So I kind of feel like maybe he just thought, oh, well, let's make it clear what Vader's thinking in that moment, which, obviously not necessary, but, could have been his thought process.
It crushes me. It's my favorite moment in all of cinema. And it's that ruins it. So I hadn't seen Return of the Jedi since at least 2019. After the last J.J. Abrams movie came out, have taken a pause on them. Since then, I've seen both Star Wars and Empire Strikes Back at our local drink and watch movies place called Nighthawk Cinema, similar to an Alamo Draft House. So this is the first time in 4 years, at least, maybe 5, that I've seen Return of the Jedi.
Oh, cool.
Which is the longest I've ever had a pause before watching it. So I watched it with a little bit fresher eyes than I'm used to. And I love it. It's still my favorite Star Wars movie. But the writer of that is definitely the guy that wrote the Star Wars prequels. It's just like the characters have lost all their charm, and now they're just sort of exposition pieces that speak in these bizarre sorts of declarative ways, and like Mark Hamill's no longer kind of fun. He's just like, I am going to do this now. I must do this. Now I must do this. And the scene on the bridge between Luke and Leia on Endor. Do you remember your mother? Your real mother? Just images, really. Feelings. It's up there with the sand is coarse and wet and gets coarse and rough and gets.
I could see that now that you described that, but I mean, I think that's my least favorite of the original trilogy, but I think it's the most fun. Yeah. Like, you put it on, you're gonna have the most fun with that one of the original 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's the most rewatchable of the original 3. Like, it's just, you can just have it on any time, and like, you'll want to like kind of like glance over and look at it. It's definitely like a mood booster for me. It's like, I just think it's like, it's my personal favorite too, like Star Wars film.
Yeah.
Though I've gone back and forth with that in Revenge of the Sith before. But ultimately, like, I would say it's Jedi. But it's, like the change that I like for me is still Jedi rocks, that I cannot like. When you see it now, it looks like Dick Tracy CGI, or like so the mask, bad. Like the mask CGI, like that kind of thing.
It's so bad.
And I just, it's just like it's like the kind of thing that he could have gone back and like made tweaks to, like at some point over the course of before he sold Lucasfilm. Like they could have gone, or they could have restored it to the original scene and enhanced that somehow. But that's like the one thing that really, anytime I watch, and then Boba Fett like cozying up to like one of the dancers, like that to me is like, oh man.
I really want to download the next 2. I believe the people that did the 4K restorations did the other 2 in the original trilogy. I'm probably gonna get like an external hard drive because it takes up like 90 gigs for like each movie or whatever. Yeah. But it was like, if you could just go back, and I was so happy to like not see those like CGI dewbacks and the CGI Jabba and stuff, and just like I'm such a Jurassic Park fan, but I feel like Jurassic Park ruined the original trilogy because they just look like the Brachiosaurus, walking around there.
Yeah. And how,
but if he's gonna redo stuff, just like like could you get a new model or something? It doesn't look like the 90s because that's my favorite thing of being like a film fan is just like the time machine that films are. You can just go back, and which I felt like I watched yesterday when I watched the original cut. You just go back and you can see all the black lines and the stop motion and everything. And just it's a marvel that they could do that in the 70s. Yes. And I don't want to be taken out of it and just reminded like, oh, this is what CGI looked like in the 90s, 20 years after these movies came out.
Yeah. It's a thing that really the one thing out of all of them that I think is much, much better, and this is going to be a controversial take, but I think the song Yub Nub was terrible. That always made me cringe. Even when I was a kid, I was like, celebrate the love, celebrate the love. It's like, oh boy. So I want the original versions of all of them, but I just want the new music at the ending of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
that's it.
For sure. I think even Lucas recognized that, and that's why he changed it. But I always thought it was annoying too as a kid, like watching it. Like I was just like, oh, like because it's so good at the end. It's like the best to me. It's like the best final. It's the best like final 15 minutes of like any Star Wars movie.
It's not even 15 minutes. It's as soon as they soon as Luke is captured is brought into the Emperor, like
that too
on the score into the trap. As soon as that starts up, it's best Star Wars stuff.
That whole third
right
act,
up until the ending. All of it. It's just and it's fast. There's no like long drawn out ending either. It's they blow up the Death Star, they're partying, they land, it's over. Cut to credits. All of it is so good. The Ewoks are just the cutest, most wonderful things. I love Ewoks. Anyone who doesn't like Ewoks, you're just wrong. Oh, they're wrong.
Yes.
The whole point of them is that they're underestimated. And then the first act, as weird as it is, it's Jabba's palace with all of the stuff in that. And I just crazy about Jabba, seeing Jabba the Hutt on the big screen again.
Yeah.
But also all the stuff they do with scale in that movie, like to show the size differences. Like when the shuttle Tiberian is going past like the bridge of the Super Star Destroyer, and it suddenly becomes this tiny thing against this big gray brick, like moving through space, and it just shows the scale of everything. It's magnificent visual storytelling, that movie.
Right. Yeah, I noticed because I was seeing it on the big screen, like during Jabba's palace, when Luke comes in, like and even when Leia comes in to free Han from the carbonite, like you see that because like they pull the curtain and Jabba and all his goons are behind there, right? But even before that, when like you could see there's like people and aliens asleep, like in the nooks. There, like, and it's like a lot more obvious when you see it in the theater.
Yeah, it's like they all got drunk and just passed out.
Yeah. Like oh, they couldn't even make it to bed. They all just like passed out here.
Yeah,
just kind of
what you're saying. That's why I wanted to go so bad. I haven't seen Return of the Jedi since the special editions in '97. I never have seen Empire on the big screen. And but I most recently saw Jurassic Park for the first time ever on the 25th anniversary when Fallen Kingdom came out. And it's just like that huge screen. There's just like so many things you can see, like the cargo netting, and when they're closing the gates, you can see someone's hand just like pushes the gate closed behind it. And I wanted to experience that again, and just like the loud nature of like the Williams score and stuff. And I'm super jealous, you guys. So I'm pouting over here.
There'll be a 50th anniversary for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe
if I make it that long.
I make it that long.
Got some gray, and I'm gonna die soon.
Return of the Jedi is my absolute favorite Star Wars movie. I just love it. All the stuff between Luke and the Emperor, like that's where the cheesy dialogue works, right? It's like it's just like that's how that needs to work with these grandiose statements. And the Emperor is just something I think was kind of neat is like you don't see the Emperor's eyes until he's talking with Luke, and then there's the close up, and you see the yellow eyes.
Yeah.
Like prior to that, it had stayed hidden in the shadow, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
And the Emperor is just so cool.
Right. No, the ending music is the new music is amazing. Like to me, it really packs that emotional punch that was missing before.
Yeah.
And even if you just listen to music by itself, like, you know, I it's kind of like a mood booster, like in a way. Like, I don't know, it's
a great track.
It's like it's sad. It sounds like, I mean, I don't know, it just really fits the scene. Like, it's just so satisfying, the ending of that movie. Like, everything is, you know, ends, you know, it's a happily ever after. And you just can't top that. So, yeah. What about Anakin?
Sebastian Shaw forever.
Yeah, Sebastian Shaw forever for me. It doesn't bother me. It's like, all right, whatever. I'd prefer the Sebastian Shaw one though.
Yeah, I have the 90s like keychain of Sebastian Shaw and like the Bantams. Remember those? Yeah. But yeah. There's a lot I like in the special editions. I really appreciate the color changing and the clarity and stuff that it added to it. And I really like Empire Strikes Back with like the added like the windows and stuff in the
Cloud City.
Yeah, Cloud City stuff.
Yeah. I always forget that those are all just stark white walls.
Mm-hmm.
Just stark white walls. It's
I'm gonna be the different person here. I prefer the Hayden in that scene.
That's fine.
No, I appreciate them both, and I just wish that you could choose. If I'm gonna watch the special edition tonight, and tomorrow night I'm gonna watch the original cut, theatrical cut. You know,
for me, I find the stuff that jars me the most tend to be related to an audio cue. Like Hayden doesn't bother me as much as in Empire Strikes Back. One of the things that I find the most egregious, and this is very, very silly, it's after Luke and Vader have had their thing. Vader's going to go back to his spaceship, right? In the Empire, they added in all those extra cuts of the Imperial shuttle, which get rid of all that. It's rubbish. But in the original version, he's just storming around a corner and he goes, "Bring my shuttle."
Yeah.
And now it's, "Alert my Star Destroyer to prepare for my arrival."
It's like, what do they need to get ready for? Like, what do they have to prepare?
In Return of the Jedi, Lando's getting pulled into the Sarlacc pit. In the original version, Han's going to shoot him, and Lando says, "Wait, no, I thought you were blind." In the original version, Han says, "It's all right, trust me."
Yeah.
And the new one, it's all right, I can see a lot better.
Yeah, so the reasoning for that, from what I understand, is that the original like audio like tape or whatever like had gotten damaged on that little segment, so they had to reuse an alternate take, and that's why they changed
Manure. I call BS.
Same for Empire when R2 gets spit out of the on Dagobah out of the swamp monster. It was the same thing. Like, I think originally like he said, like Luke said, like, "You must not taste very good," and then I think now it's like, "You were lucky to get out of there." Like,
oh, really?
Like that kind of thing. Yeah,
Really?
like I don't know if that was the exact line, but it was something like that where the lines was deteriorated or something on the original print, and they had to use an alternate take.
I'll go check that out real quick.
Yeah, look it up. I think that for me, like the Hayden thing, like I remember seeing that for the first time when they released the original trilogy for the first time ever on DVD in 2004. And I remember buying it and watching it, and I'm like, whoa, like they changed that moment. But and at that point it was kind of jarring. It's like, why is that even necessary? But I think after all this time has passed, you know, like Hayden is Anakin, right? Like he just is. So to me, it just like seems a lot more like fitting. Like it just, I don't know, it just works better for me.
I'm not opposed to it. I like it, you know, but
it's freezing or am I freezing?
It looks a little funny on the big
little
screen.
I can hear you.
I will admit.
You just look grumpy like you always
do.
Carbonite.
He's in carbonite. He got frozen.
I'm freezing.
You're good.
I got frozen a couple
You're
times.
Good now.
I don't know.
Internet is terrible in New York.
Tom broke the internet. We should all freeze, just like. Or well, I'll turn off our cameras. Where'd we all go?
Stop cam. Here we go. Oh well, we all have problems. I had problems earlier.
It happens. It happens. That's the thing about being live. You never know.
He's back.
He's back.
Maybe.
There's a ghost behind you.
Oh my gosh, it's a ghost.
Your setup.
It's a ghost. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Return of the Jedi. It's got some flaws. It's definitely the weakest of the original.
Oh yeah, so I just noted to. Yeah, I was just noting to Dave, like when I saw it on the big screen though, like the Anakin change is a little more. It looks a little weirder, like because I hadn't seen it on the big screen. I saw the special edition when it still had Sebastian Shaw, but when you see it on the big screen, it looks a little. I don't know. It looks a little weird. But.
He's sort of like.
Yeah. It's like, I'm too young to be standing here right now.
No, it's like when he moves his head around, you can see it That's funny.
What's Star Wars if it's something we can't complain about?
Yeah, so I mean, 40 years. I guess let's talk about when was the first time we saw Return of the Jedi. Speaking for myself, I can't even really remember. I feel like it may have been the first Star Wars movie I saw, just for maybe it being on TV or something. But the first thing I remember is seeing when C-3PO and R2 are going through Jabba's palace, and there's that big arm thing that goes around 3PO. I remembered that seeing that when I was really little. Yeah, I remember seeing that, and that's the earliest I can actually recall having seen Star Wars was that moment. So I don't know when exactly I saw the whole movie, or it must have been late 80s, I guess. But it would have been broadcast on television. And then seeing it in whole, probably early 90s, I guess. I couldn't really even say exactly. What about you, Dave? When was the first time you saw Return of the Jedi?
I think it was about 1994. My parents had seen the original Star Wars. They're not big movie people, and that was probably about it. I don't think they ever saw the sequels. And we had friends of the family who used to babysit us and stuff like that. And I just remember going over, and I think Empire was on, and we would just come over and was just what is that? It was so weird, the aliens and the tech and stuff, and just I feel if you're a fan of Star Wars, it becomes normalized. But the first time, just think back to the first time you saw Star Wars was just so weird, with the aliens and the way the walls looked, and everything is just abnormal. And that's the original feeling I think I had. And they had them all on VHS, and I think I watched bits and pieces of all three, and I was fan of it, but didn't really know the story so well, because I hadn't seen them in order or at the same time. And the special editions, I think, was just Mom and Dad, we need to go and we need to see these movies, and there's new CGI and we've got to go see it now. And and I saw New Hope and Return of the Jedi with the special editions in the theater, and it was cool because friends of the family went to see it with us. My parents didn't give a crap, just taking their kids to see a movie, but they were the generation, maybe 15 years older than I was. They're a little bit younger than my parents, and they were the original Star Wars fans. I saw this when I was young, and it was I could tell this was important. I saw this 20 years ago, and we're all sitting here now and we're watching A New Hope.
Yeah.
And the importance of it just struck me, that we're seeing Star Wars on the big screen. And that was a lot of fun. It was a fun time. So of course I love the special editions, because of that time period. But yeah, early 90s.
Special editions have been around longer than I had the period of time where they were just their originals. It's burned into my brains, the original, so it does always click me wrong. I first saw it in 1983 when it first came out in the cinema. And I was already a Star Wars fan at that time because I'd seen the original movie. I couldn't tell you when I saw it. But I was absolutely crazy about it. I remember the full page advertisement in the newspaper, local newspaper, Return of the Jedi. I couldn't read, but I could tell you that was the Star Wars coming out. And yeah, I just absolutely was in love with it. Jabba the Hutt, specifically. Jabba the Hutt, I thought was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. And to this day, when I watched it last week in the cinema on just a giant weird slug thing going, bleh, I was like, oh my God.
His eyes, like the tech, like however they did his eyes, like has pupils that contract and expand. It's incredible.
Oh, just amazing. Just incredible. So I've seen it 3 times in the cinema because then I saw it the special editions as well. But
awesome.
Yeah, absolutely love it. What about you, Vic?
Well, I think I saw it in full in the early 90s, but I know when I got the original trilogy on VHS, when they released like the THX remastered version for the last time, when they advertised it one last time.
Never again.
And I remember buying them and then rewatching like all the movies, and that's the first time I actually like sat and like rewatched A New Hope, Empire, Jedi, like just like sequentially and like to get the full like experience. And you know, my little brother, like, you know, we used to watch Star Wars movies on VHS all the time, but Return of the Jedi was the one we just watched the most, like, because it was the most fun. The pacing was good. You know, it wasn't like, you know, the original Star Wars is amazing, obviously.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's a lot of lag there, like in the desert and, you know, even on the Death Star, some things kind of, you know, it's fun, but, you know, sometimes it kind of like, there's like little moments in between like the Imperial officers and Moff Tarkin and all that. But, but yeah, no, it's just like the most, like, we thought it was the most fun. We watched it a lot. And I remember from doing that as a kid, I memorized like the whole movie. And that's the only one that I have like completely memorized, I would say.
Yeah.
Like,
it's tough for me to not quote along with it when I watch it.
I know, it's so good. People were doing that in the theater for a little bit, and then it was like, okay, dude, come on. We know you know, I know too, but I'm not gonna advertise it.
Your feeble skills are no match for the power of the dark side. Pay the price for your lack of vision.
So good.
So good. So good.
The lightning looked sorry, I'm going on a tangent now, but the lightning looked really cool. Like seeing it the other day, like it was hot, like searing, like bright blue lightning. Like it looked really cool.
You think it was like any of the Disney Plus like cut or something like that? I know that like they changed it a lot. The McClunky thing was like shocking for me when we first got Disney Plus, like because that was like the very last. He planned on a 3D release right before he sold, and that was the final cut.
Yeah.
It's McClunky just baffles me. I'm just like, okay.
Well, that was a lot of fun for me yesterday, seeing just Han shoot. I mean, I was 8 or 7 the last time I saw that.
Yeah. Without the weird freeze framing going on there, or like the bad Photoshop.
And it honestly, as a fan, it left me confused because I've seen it so many different ways, but it was just like Greedo shoots first.
Yeah.
You know, then like Han shoots first, and then they shoot at the same time, but not really. Like, it's weird.
The point was you weren't supposed to know if Han Solo was going to be a good guy or not.
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to know.
Yeah, and then
we all know now because it's culture, but like that was the point.
Honestly, as like someone who's, I mean, I can't even count the number of times I've seen that film. After seeing that, watching the film yesterday, at the end when he says, "Hey Luke, may the Force be with you," he kind of sounds like a dick. Like, you know, like it's just like, oh, he's mocking him right now, and like that. Before seeing that, like as like he's this guy who just shoots someone in cold blood, and then is he mocking Luke right now as he leaves? Like, yeah, I'm taking my money, and hey Luke, like I know what you care about, and I'm mocking you. Like it I don't know if that was the intent or not, but like that's sort of the way I felt. I'm just like, man, this guy, and it really like hits home more. This guy doesn't care. You know, he kills someone in cold blood. He's mocking Luke, and then when he shows up at the end again, it's that much more powerful.
I never took that he was mocking him. I think he was trying.
Me neither. That's what I was going to say. That's so interesting because I never
but like the
looked at it
cut
from
that like I always thought when I saw it that he was trying to be like, hey Luke, may the force be with you. Like I'm on your side, you know.
Mhm.
But like just the way that I saw it in this 4K 77, the original cut, that's the way that it struck me yesterday. I was just like, oh, like he's being a dick right now. Like he doesn't care, you know. It's like, hey, I'm taking my money, and may the force be with you. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Hey, may the force be with.
Yeah, I never saw it. I always like, for me, it was always like he felt guilty and he was just kind of trying to comfort Luke a little bit, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never really thought of it from like he was like mocking him, but that's interesting. Next time I watch it, I'll have to have that in mind.
If he wanted to mock him, he should have said something like, "Hey, Luke, your mentor is dead." And that's what
Leia should have been more sad than you were.
Like, hey, Luke, I got paid. You didn't.
Hey, at least my planet didn't get blown up.
Right. At least my aunt and uncle didn't just burn.
Yeah.
You know what?
I knew that or not.
Side note, I have a 5-year-old, and we most recently watched Mandalorian season 3, and seeing it through her eyes because she was watching along with us, and she's going, "Hey, that's the thing from Mandalorian." She's talking about like the mouse droids.
Mm-hmm.
And then she said the same thing with R5. She's like, that's the droid from Mandalorian.
That's got to be fun.
And it's just like, whoa, like her entry point is Mandalorian, you know? And she's like tying this like 40-something-year-old movie into the Mandalorian. She just goes, I think they're going to find the Mandalorian when Luke and Han dress up as the stormtroopers.
Just
like, well, that's awesome.
So that charms me so much. That's perfect. 10 out of 10, no notes. That's great. So she's got to be excited for when you get the N1 Starfighter.
Hopefully.
Do you get the 3 3/4-inch figures?
I have some. I don't get like hardly any. I mean, I have like a few. I have Boba Fett over here next to me right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, not that many. I'm mainly Black Series, but I recently got the X-Wing. It's like right here. Mm-hmm. And I have a few vintage collections. I got like not that many. I have R5D4 on pre-order right now. It's about the only vintage collection I have on pre-order.
Did you say Boba Fett?
Yeah, I have the book of Boba Fett. Like
Boba
here.
Fett?
Boba Fett? Where?
Boba Fett?
Yeah, I was trying to bait him into that.
I am Boba Fett. I have this one. This one,
yeah, that's a good cool one.
I really dig it.
Yeah.
I might want to rewatch Book of Boba Fett. I watched it once. There's a lot of valid complaints about that series. It's odd, but watching Timora Morrison get to play the character and just have fun with it is. Also, they ride a Rancor at the end and fight giant robots.
You know, it's funny because you mentioned that because I like. It was really like my mom, I feel like, that introduced me to Star Wars, like more than anybody. But, when I lost my train of thought. What were we talking? Boba Fett. Yeah.
Boba Fett.
Anyway, I went back to Texas in March, and every time I go, like me and my mom, like we'll watch I'll try and get her to watch the latest Star Wars TV show or whatever it is. So. I got her. She hadn't seen season 2 of Mando, so she hadn't finished it. So we finished that, and then Book of Boba Fett. But then when we got to that last episode, like for whatever reason, she's like, "That was a fun episode. I just really liked it." Like she doesn't really like go into detail about it. She'll watch it and she's like, "Okay, that's cool. Oh, I bet this is gonna happen. Oh, what's that?" Like she's just asking a bunch of questions. But like she really liked that episode. Like and she said the Rancor was just a lot of fun. She said, I really liked it when he was riding on that monster.
And also because they don't kill that Rancor. That's one of those.
They put him to sleep.
When I watch Return of the Jedi, every time I see the Rancor die, I'm always like,
it's because those guys are crying. That's why.
Yeah, what an odd choice to put that in. Oh, look,
It's so great, though.
I mean,
so
I think
great.
about that when I'm playing like Jedi Survivor now, just like how
Mhm.
many stormtroopers and the creatures I'm just like murdering. I'm like, aren't you supposed to be? You care about things that are alive,
Right. Like in 5 seconds, he kills more things than you've ever killed in your life.
yeah. He's like John Wicking his way through Star Wars.
Yeah. Like, oh, there's a tree. It's in my way. Oh, better get the lightsaber out.
Which I think I gave myself carpal tunnel from playing that game in the last like week or so. That's how old I am.
And I really want to play it. I really want to play it. Yeah. So what else about Return of the Jedi? So those are kind of our memories of it. What else? What makes it like?
That's my favorite Luke,
we've
I guess.
Yeah, okay, so there's that. Let's talk about that because we've covered like a lot of like Jabba's palace, the ending, the music, the Emperor.
Yep.
Like let's talk about that. So tell us a little bit about that, Dave.
Well, I mean, I'm a Power of the Force 2 kind of guy, and that's my favorite action figure of all time is the Jedi Luke from that. I mean, he looks terrible. He's that stupid rubber cloak with that dumb green lightsaber just sticking out, but it's my favorite. I love it.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just he's in black. You're like, what's with this guy? He has this like dumb plan at the beginning. He's so confident, but he just loses it at the end, not trained at all, I guess, and he just appears like stupid. And then at the end, he comes to his senses. He throws his lightsaber away. He faces the Emperor, and he loses.
Yeah, he does.
Yes, but his faith in his father restores him, and it's just so awesome.
Yeah. Luke doesn't win in that movie. He does give in to anger and hate when he tries to brutally friggin' kill Darth Vader. When Darth Vader just goads him a little bit, he just loses his marbles. It's so ingrained in me. So I love everything in that movie, including Luke. But the sort of charm that he has in the previous two movies is absent in that one. And I get why, but I think I would have liked to have seen a little bit of it, more of it left back in, because Mark Hamill is so charming. He's so charming, and to have a performance by him where he's just sort of like deadpan, everything is, again, I've grown up with the movie. I've watched it more times than I can count easily. So it's just like, I think the fact that Luke and Leia being brother and sister is stupid. I think it's a stupid idea. I think Lucas cooked it up because he was trying to top his Vader reveal. So he's like, oh, I'm going to do this thing. But, they've been the twins for 40 years, so it's ingrained in my brain. So I've got it's the split between, I don't think that was a good story choice, but it is what it is, and it's my favorite thing. So I can't, looking at it, trying to look at it more objectively is very difficult. Because it's Return of the Jedi.
Right. Yeah, like I think for that, Dave hit on a good thing. Like when he comes in, like you're thinking of him in A New Hope, you're thinking of him in Empire, but then when he comes in Return of the Jedi, he's just like uber confident. Like he's dressed nicely. He's like he just comes in and like like just based on the way he's acting, even though there's setbacks, like that he's gonna ultimately like own it, and he's gonna win, right? Like in the Jabba's palace and all that. But I'll say something that's kind of a weird, maybe a little weird, maybe not weird for me, but weird to most people. I wear like mostly black. Like most days I just wear like all black. Not every day, but most days. And there's a few reasons I do that, I guess. My students say that I'm emo. But that's my students.
Color coordination's easier.
Well, that, but like right now I'm wearing all black.
It's a sign of genius.
Is it?
Yeah.
I never heard that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyway, Luke wearing black in this movie, like really, like as a kid, made an impression on me. Like it just looked cool.
Yeah.
It was obviously Darth Vader-ish. Maybe I think that was the intent, right? But like it just looked good, and like when I see him like confident, you know, like whether it's in Jabba's palace or he's like dealing with the Emperor or whatever, he's talking to Leia, like he's just like confident. And that really rubbed off on me. And I feel like deep down that that's part of the reason that I like to wear like all black is because of Luke in that movie.
Could be. There's the old From Star Wars to Jedi, the making of a saga videotape that I had when I was a kid. It was Mark Hamill going through the making of mostly Return of the Jedi, but talking about the other ones a bit as well. And like there's George Lucas in there talking about the reason that Luke is wearing all black in this one. It has nothing to do with misdirecting you into thinking he's going to turn to the dark side. He describes it as something all black, more Jedi-like. It's like, so I'd always kind of presume Jedis wear black.
That's how the toys are labeled, like Jedi Knight outfit, right? And like Dave's right, like that was my favorite figure too of at the time of was that Luke Jedi Knight and with the plastic cape and all that. Remember there were like tan vested variation. There were a bunch of variants on that.
Yeah.
The theater edition one.
Oh,
which I'm still irritated.
Or something.
After 20 years, I'm still irritated that my theater didn't give those out when I went.
Oh, man, that's too bad.
I never got one. I'm gonna have to order one maybe one day. But
they might have one down the street from me.
But you know, it's I just love him in the movie. He's just like, I mean, I guess that's what'll happen, right? If you were to find out Darth Vader was your father, you'd probably go a little emo too. So
Can I tell you guys something dumb that I don't think I've ever told anyone before?
Yes. Please.
So around the time of the special editions, I always wear glasses. I still wear glasses. I have contact lenses on now. And at the time it was time for me to like not wear glasses to see like how my normal vision would work. And what always went through my head when I took my glasses off was just let me look upon you with my own eyes. And that was the reason that I wanted my glasses off.
Oh, that's fantastic. I love it.
I love that too.
So yeah.
What's your hat?
This is the 76ers, and I just watched them lose tonight.
Oh.
Yeah. Big on sports here in Philadelphia.
Yep.
Can we talk about Han Solo in Return of the Jedi?
Yeah.
Sure. He's funny.
He's definitely, I think, intended to be the comic relief, unlike the other two movies, which is kind of an odd choice.
Well, he's funny in the other movies too.
Yeah, I mean, it was more like, I don't know, because I mean, in A New Hope and Empire, there's jovial moments, right? I mean, there's things that are fun, but like it's just, I don't know, they kind of like really did a switch on Han because, you know, he's this really serious, you know, like, you know, suave and, you know, kind of scummy at times, like smuggler pirate, but he's got this like way about him where he's not like the class clown, but then in Return of the Jedi he kind of is. So it's just, I mean, I know that they've said like Harrison Ford was tired of Star Wars by that point, so maybe he kind of to some extent phoned it in a little bit, but I don't know. And he really stands out to me, and it's fun. I mean, in the theater, you know, people were giggling at his stuff that you get up to. Oh, it's me, and, you know, going up with the blaster and like all that, you know, kind of like borderline slapstick stuff.
Oh yeah,
but
he taps the trooper on the shoulder and runs around.
Yeah, the kind of stuff that we did on the playground as kids, right? Like, you know, it's just. Oh, I got an idea. And he puts on the other guy's helmet. Oh, Commander, it's over. Like you could totally see that, like in a comedy, you know?
Yeah.
It's just so different.
Yeah. Everyone's a little different in that movie.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that he's different. And
if I was watching them all for the first time now, I would be very, very critical of Return of the Jedi, I think. There's a lot of stuff that I would still absolutely love, but a lot of it I'd be like, what? Okay. But you know, it's 40 years old, and it's almost as old as I am, so I unabashedly love it.
Yeah. So no other thoughts on Han?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. Yeah, he's turned into, he doesn't really have a character in the movie. Just kind of, he's the comic relief, and I'm happy about that, since I think the movie needed some comic relief. Yeah, but yeah, I don't. Yeah, he's just sort of like wacky joke Han. But he's funny in Empire. Empire Strikes Back is the funniest of the original movies. That movie's almost like an action comedy. It's, go back and watch it through like just the comedy, and the movie's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Dark as it is, it's like it's full of humor.
Yeah. What else? What haven't we touched on? I mean, we've covered pretty well why the aliens are awesome, why the music is awesome, the Emperor,
Lando and the Falcon.
Lando.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
let's talk about that. Lando and the Falcon, because this is the first time you ever see, chronologically the movie's coming out, Lando and the Falcon. But then we go back years later, and he's flying it in Solo. He's flying it in The Rise of Skywalker. So yeah, what about Lando and the Falcon, Dave?
He's just like so confident, and confident in his friend. We need to give Han more time, It's just it's great. I don't know. It's just, and the sequences, if we just go into the Falcon, the way flying into the Death Star, and just it's amazing, and the shots and the way they were able to spin it around, and just going around everything, and just it's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm glad they didn't kill Lando off. That was the right decision.
Yeah,
they should have cut Han saying, "I've got a funny feeling like I'm not going to see her again." They should just cut that. Get rid of that. It doesn't line up with anything else, and you change that. Cut that.
Well, I mean, it adds to, maybe Lando bites it, like whatever. But
he might bite it anyway.
Yeah.
But that's what was going to happen, right? They were going to actually, I don't know how much they actually filmed or whatever, but if they filmed that scene where him saying, "I'm not going to see her again," it kind of makes you wonder, what else is out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they did film it. But then they smartly decided you wanted to have a happy ending to your Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
Which was the right decision. Lando's awesome. We love Lando.
I'll say that as a kid, it kind of bothered me a little bit, that he was flying it, because in A New Hope, it's Han's ship. In Empire, it's Han's ship. And then you learn that, it was Lando's first. But I was kind of like, oh, I wish for consistency's sake, because there's not a single shot in Return of the Jedi of Han in the cockpit of the Falcon.
Nope, never. Yeah.
Or any of them other than Lando and Nien Nub. But like, yeah, so I mean, I think like that was kind of like surprising to me that you never see that.
They just fly the other ship instead. Yeah.
Right. And there actually is like even Luke and Han, like they really only have those two, like the beginning, when he's rescuing him, there's that, and then there's like just in passing, like in when they're looking for Leia and stuff, but there's not a whole lot of Luke and Han in Return of the Jedi.
Or Empire Strikes Back either, so
yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, Luke's separated from everyone for almost the entire movie.
Yeah. Or the Force
I don't even think they ever met up in The Force Awakens.
Yeah, they certainly don't spend much time together in The Force Awakens.
Did they know each other? I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a cut moment in The Last Jedi where, like Chewie gets there and he's like, "Where's Han?" And then he's like, "Wait, who's Han?"
He's like, "I don't even remember that guy."
The guy pretended to own the ship that I flew. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
What else have we covered? More stuff on the Falcon would have been great. That would be.
Yeah.
Yep.
Totally.
One of the things I loved, when Luke's like, "You told me Vader betrayed and murdered my father." It's like, "Oh, what I told you was true from a certain point of view." And Luke's like, "From a certain point of view?" like what? Like I'd always taken that. I'd always kind of taken that as sort of a face value, sort of like, "Oh, he's just." No, it's really like, "The hell are you talking about? You crazy old ghost."
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like
F yourself.
Yeah, Obi-Wan's a little different in Jedi. Not in a bad way. He's just more serious, I guess.
Well, that's where they made up all the. That's where they had to make up all the new lore.
Yeah.
That's the first time you hear the name Anakin Skywalker and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. No, that's a good point.
So he just kind of has to come in and give exposition.
What's that?
He just kind of has to come in and give exposition. You see, I wasn't lying when I said that your parents sold you for drug money. They sold you for drug money to protect you.
Yeah, I think people don't always like realize that in the OT there's stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Once you know the story, like I go back and like again last night I was watching the original, and you see the Alec Guinness performance, and he's just like, your father was betrayed and murdered by Darth Vader, and just that look that he gives him, like, oh, that means that he knows that the thing that George Lucas didn't even write yet.
Right, yeah. We're telling ourselves our system. Yeah. Like, no, it's not there. He's making it up as he goes. Yeah. But it mostly works, and the thing that I would, if
it's like a happy coincidence or something, I guess, because it works so good.
Yeah, sometimes that sort of stuff works out well. Like that's a good. Yeah. He lied to Luke, and it makes sense why he'd lie to Luke about that.
Right. I mean, what could he say?
I don't think his excuse, from a certain point of view, I'm telling you the truth. I think that's sort of a load of nonsense, but still, it's still logical that he would lie. Not be like, oh yeah, your father, I trained him, and then he turned into an evil Sith Lord. Now he's Darth Vader and destroys the galaxy. Want to come with me to Alderaan? No, I don't. You sound like a real nut job.
Yeah, I know. This whole time he's probably thinking, "Oh, your sister's an Alderaan. I'm going to take you to Alderaan, and you're going to get to meet your sister."
Yeah. Yes, that's another thing you got to grapple with when Luke rescues Leia. Like, Ben Kenobi. Well, like 10 years ago, we just hung out and like ran from that Back to the Future guy.
Yep. Sure. It's one of those things that I forgive that, because I thought that the little Leia was so charming. I was like, I don't care, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of like, I was thinking about this the other day. Like it kind of made sense for me how, like, why, like I always thought, like, why would Leia and Han name their son Ben? Like, I mean, I know Obi-Wan, but like, I mean, they didn't really know him, but then like now you see Obi-Wan Kenobi and it's like, oh, okay, well, okay, now it kind of makes sense.
It makes more sense, yeah. But prior to that, it's like, what? I didn't think much made sense in Episode 7. But that's a story for another time.
Yes,
I love
another time. Because we're focusing on Return of the Jedi and why it is such an amazing, incredible movie, and how this is the 40th anniversary. I want to take a look here in at our audience and see who is with us. We haven't checked on them in a little bit. Make sure that everybody's keeping things safe,
a good chat,
and respectful in the cantina, right?
There's a fellow that said he saw in the original screening of Star Wars, he saw Leia spit on Darth Vader's helmet. I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, I saw that conversation like peripherally. That Leia spit on Vader's helmet right after he says, "You're part of the Rebel Alliance and a traitor." I remember it was because it shocked me that a girl spit. To which Milky Way Skywalker says, Leia spits on Vader in the novelization, but never on screen. But Collector 1970, it's true. I've never heard this about the movie. So that's news to me if there was some cut in some theater that had that moment in it.
They had, I remember that they did do some changes. There was a bunch of changes they would do here and there throughout the first year or so that it came out. So there's a distinct possibility that was something they decided.
It's definitely possible, but like as a Jurassic Park guy, I mean, I read the novelization as a kid, and I could have sworn that the West Indian lilac was like actually mentioned in the movie when I was a kid, and it wasn't. So maybe it was. I mean, Star Wars was longer than I have been alive ago, so it's possible. But
she doesn't say what the plants were.
No,
you're kidding me.
No, It's in the novel, and it's in the junior novelization, which I read around the same time as the movie coming out. Yep. And I thought that it was in the movie, and it's not. So,
wow.
She says it though, doesn't she? Like when the Triceratops.
She says that she's checking for the West Indian lilac, but I always thought that the West Indian lilac was the actual cause of the Triceratops, which is in the junior novelization with the gizzard stones and stuff and all that. And it's not. They never follow up on it. And like in my mind, I was just like, oh yeah, obviously that's why she's sick, you know. But it's never actually addressed in the movie. So
interesting.
You know, I think like reading really has a strong impact on you, especially at that age. But again, like you said, there could be a cut out there somewhere. Obviously.
Can I share
I don't want to take anything away from anyone.
I want to share a weird piece of information in the first Star Wars when Obi-Wan's going to go and take care of the trash compactor, and he looks at Luke and says, the Force will be with you always. It's always stuck in my head. He says, the Force will be with you all the time. And I could never figure out why that was. And then more recently, I realized it was because I must have asked my mom, like, what's always mean? She said, all the time. And so it's like, so that must have been where I learned the word always from.
That's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It clicked in my head finally in the past couple of years. I was like, why the heck do I think that? It was never that. But it's just,
Let's see here. We got July in the house. How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? Good to see you here this
July
evening.
through November.
Yeah, we got Fetmatic saying that green is from Luke's is his favorite.
Fair.
And yeah, that was always a cool thing, just because it's like blue red, but then all of a sudden, green. There's becoming green. Like, I remember as a kid, like that was like, the green's cool.
I didn't even know that they were different colors. It was one of those things that just didn't strike me. If there's the good guy lightsaber, which is blue or it's green or whatever, it was years before I was like, it's different.
It always struck me as like an elevation or something, like you're good when you're blue, but you're like really good when you're green,
There you go.
And I think that carried over to episode 1 for me when
really
now
good.
Qui-Gon's my favorite ever.
And then like Mace has purple, and then it's like, he's a good guy, but he did something bad, so he's paying for it. He's working his way back up to
But that confused the crap out of me because like in the toy it was like a blue.
The Phantom Menace one.
Yeah.
But he has if you watch the scene, he has a different lightsaber hilt on his belt than he does in the other two. So could have been actually blue at the time.
I think it was the old expanded universe that suggested that the red lightsabers were artificial. They had artificial crystals.
Yeah, the Sith lightsabers.
Yeah, and in the new canon, it's something about them holding it a long time and using the dark side to make it. And I'm like, that's just nonsense.
Well, they show that in the spoiler in the new video game.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I've not played the video game. So.
Yeah, it's in the Darth Vader comic too. Like, he had to kill a Jedi and then make the Jedi's lightsaber crystal bleed. Is what it said. So he had to turn it red with rage, and then Ahsoka can purify the crystals back to white, but they can't go back to blue. They go to white. It's kind of like when you bleach your hair, right? Like, and then you like throw another color in there, and kind of have to start over, that kind of thing. Sure. It doesn't go back right away. We've got hey Latoya T, how's it going? Good to see you.
Dengar turned into Hrothgar Deng.
Oh gosh, we don't need to get into that once again. Jason says his near-death experience taught him that he needed to lighten up a lot in his new life. Interesting. I think he's talking about
Harrison Ford, right?
Or about Han Solo, yeah. Harrison. Going back to our conversation a moment ago about how Han is just so different.
Yeah.
In Jedi.
He's different in Jedi because he did. Mm-hmm. I was going to say, because I don't think Lawrence Kasdan had as much to do with the script in Jedi, but I might be wrong.
I think Paul's thinking of a memory here. Han trying to blow out the Ewok torch was funny. Yeah.
God,
that was
spectacular. All that.
There's good. It's so fun to see this again, in the theater with people, because like there's things that other people might find humorous that, you know, you didn't necessarily like. There were moments that I'd watch and I wouldn't really like laugh at moments, but then like people were kind of giggling. I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of funny.
Oh man,
Like
yeah.
it's a different experiencing with people.
It's so much fun. It's really one of those times that you know that Star Wars is meant to be watched on a big screen. It's like
Right.
it's in ways that like I haven't seen a movie that Jurassic Park is meant to be seen on a big screen because you're looking
Yeah.
at things that are giant, and when you look at the scale of everything, it can't be.
Right.
You should have to tilt your head to see this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Even like you know, physical like sets that were like done on location, like in Hawaii, and you know, you have to see it like on a big screen. This is an interesting thought. The Sith were the only ones who told the truth in Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of did. You know, it's kind of like the blunt, honest truth. Qui-Gon kind of did that, I would say, and Mace did that. Like Mace was actually a little too much, like in that area.
Well, yeah, Darth Vader was always telling the truth about stuff.
Yeah, he was. He was. Except when he was like, except when he was talking to the Emperor, and he's like, "My son,
oh yeah,
how is that possible?" Like,
oh yeah,
you could see his eyes rolling around under his helmet.
Yep, I've always taken that, and I know it's made up in the future, but it's like that's one of those things that the prequel lore sort of works for it, in that the only person that can kill the Emperor is another dark side person, because the Emperor can't see through it. It's too cloudy because it's dark. That's the only person that can get close enough. Anyone else, the Emperor is going to see him coming and kill him first.
Yeah. Justin says, saw Return of the Jedi when I was 2, don't remember it. About 4 when I do remember it. Love the Ewoks, even their adventures on TV and Saturday morning cartoons. Yeah. Don't get me started on Saturday morning cartoons. Those are good times. Good times.
I loved the movies, the 2 Ewok movies. I have them on DVD. I absolutely loved those. Those are so much fun.
This is a funny mismemory or whatever we're calling him. My brother said that in the hallway scene in A New Hope, when Leia shoots the garbage chute, Leia says somebody has to save our...
Hold on to your butts. I mean, it's such the way she says it took me forever to understand exactly what she's saying. I think I used to think somebody has to save us kids.
That's what I used to think too.
Right, yeah, because it's so like faster, more intense dialogue. It's like, what? Yeah. Somebody has to save our skins.
Yeah.
I love Leia in that movie. She's so much fun in the first 2 movies.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Leia and
kind of got the Han treatment, I guess,
like,
a little bit.
Amazing, like peak Star Wars.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Milky Way says that I remember thinking Salacious Crumb was so annoying, but that whole opening with Jabba was amazing. Yeah, people were like, again, seeing it in the theater, it's just interesting what people find funny. Like people like really thought Salacious Crumb is just the most hilarious thing ever. Like it's
I love him so much. It just cracks me up so much.
It is so good.
I just love it. I love him. Yeah. Don't worry, Salacious Crumb didn't die either. Nobody died in the sail barge blowing up, just Jabba.
No, they all went out the back door. Yep. I'm sure Yak Face wasn't on that thing when it blew.
Definitely not.
I can feel it. He's alive.
Yeah.
Just like
my brother.
Fortuna.
You heard it here. HasLab Yak Face.
Yes.
It's like a giant yak face, like this big.
Yeah.
I was tempted to buy one of those gentle giant ones, the gentle giant
ones
of yak face, because it's just like beautifully terrible. Yeah. We'll never get a yak face in a Black Series, will we?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Dawson says those ATSTs like AT-ATs and other Imperial vehicles are pretty sweet, but ADSTs are something else. Yeah, the chicken walkers, as they used to call them. I think it was a video I saw somewhere. I don't know if it was Instagram or where, but it was somebody wearing a box, like the head of the AT-AT or the ATST. And then they were walking like backwards because their knees, like,
Yeah. So good.
That's cool.
Yeah. Speaking of ATSTs, I have the latest TVC one right back here.
Oh, cool.
course, it didn't. It didn't stay. Like they fixed the legs on it finally, but it only even that only lasted for like 3 weeks, and now it's like starting to like lean. So.
Yeah, I stuck with my vintage ones. I got rid of my one of those a long time ago now. The leg thing was just too much for me. I was just like, nah. I still would love them to make a Black Series one and have it be usable as a nightstand or bookshelf. Put a shelf on the legs, and you can put books in it as well. Put coasters on the top.
This is a good one right here. When I was a kid, 3PO was addressing our heroes from the barge. I thought he was saying big tins instead of big.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yep.
It does sound like that. It really does.
Big tins of it. Yeah. There was one of those things I couldn't get right.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought C3PO said, he hopes that you will die horribly rather than honorably.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That
he
is
hopes
hilarious.
that you will die horribly. It's fun. Oh my goodness, it's our buddy.
Yep, she's here.
It's our buddy.
She's been asleep under my desk the whole time.
Oh.
Now she's getting a little restless, I think.
What a nice puppy.
Like, you're still live streaming? Still?
Yeah. Speaking of, it's almost midnight, so I'm going to have to hop off in a minute.
Yeah. I have to be up early tomorrow.
Well, you let us know whenever you got to hop off, you guys.
We got to get off at 5 a.m. to watch the coronation. Oh
yeah, because I care so much about a country that we fought so hard to get away from.
Yeah.
What time is it at?
It's at 5 a.m. Eastern time.
So that's like the kind of thing you just stay up for if you're on the West Coast.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. Well,
I will not be getting up at 5 a.m. That was a joke. There's not for all the tea in China or all the stormtroopers in Stormtrooper land. Yeah.
What about a Black Series Rancor? Would you stay up for that?
Oh, absolutely. No question.
Yeah,
no question.
That would
Easy.
do well.
Easy.
How could they not do that? Such an obvious hit.
Gosh. Oh, that one still stings. It still stings, guys. I could have a giant Rancor that's the size of my desk on my desk. And I don't.
Yeah.
Still breaks my heart. I wonder what the vintage collection HasLab will be.
I'm still thinking it's going to be a Ghost. I think they're going to announce it as the Ghost, and everyone's going to go, wah, wah, what? We don't care. Then Ahsoka's going to come out like 2 weeks later.
They gotta wait for the Ahsoka show to come out and put the Ghost in that.
Yeah, they can't. They gotta wait. This can't be like the Rancor before the Book of Boba Fett, kind of thing. It's got to be like timed. Like once it's like in the show, then you announce it. And let it run until the show ends.
When is STCC?
Oh, Ahsoka! I loved Ahsoka, and then they jump on it, before the campaign ends. Like it's got to be that way.
It's like late July.
Won't be that way.
Oh yeah, it's July, and Ahsoka's not until August, so
it might launch, and then people are going to be like, no one cares about that really old cartoon show thing, and then they're going to see it on Disney Plus. If people aren't scared away after Boba Fett and Mandalorian Season 3, and they're going to watch it, and then they're going to be like, oh, I need this. It might fund, maybe.
True.
Yeah, they need a hit.
Yeah, I think if people are interested and it's priced, it's going to be HasLab. It's not going to be cheap, but if it's priced, people perceive it as good value for the money. Hopefully that's all you need to get it done.
$350 is the price they should aim for it, I think.
I've heard $6.
The way things are going, I think it probably I can't imagine the sail barge being $500 these days, or the Razor Crest being $300 or whatever it was.
Well, they just made the his tank, which is a big thing, and that was $300.
Yeah, but then they're like, oh, the Hasbro Star Wars licensing is,
right.
There's a lot of detail usually on the TVC stuff, though. The sail barge just popped up on my Facebook Marketplace for $2,000. Someone has one near me.
That's
you have one?
No.
Better than I've seen in a while.
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen them go for around 2,500. 2,000 is probably a pretty good deal on it. I mean, the darn thing's worth it. I remember thinking, wow, $500 is a lot.
Definitely.
No.
I know.
No.
It's not, like, especially now, like I said, it wouldn't be $500. Like,
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. I love it.
No, I love it so much. Yeah.
I kept thinking about it when I was watching it the other day. It was just like, oh yeah, I have that at home.
Yep. Yeah, this is the first time I've
it's
watched
really
Return of the Jedi, and I have the sail barge at the. I was like,
and it looked, because I know that they said that the HasLab one is scaled down a little bit, like all Star Wars vehicles. But when I saw it in the movie, I was like, no, it looks pretty close.
It's close enough for me. Yeah. Close enough for government pork, that's for sure.
If the whole Ghost crew would be included at like some tier or something like that, and then there would be like a payment plan or something, I think I might pull the trigger on that. Like if I could find a way to buy it or something, in installments.
Yeah,
you start now before it comes out or gets announced. Yeah. Say, okay, $50 a month, $50 a month, $100 a month.
I could sell some of the things that I have, obviously. Right?
Yeah. No, you can't do that. What kind of collector are you? Sell my collection?
Not gonna sell anything.
No, never. I'll be buried with all of it.
Like Tom said, yeah, I was just gonna say, like Tom says, you're gonna be buried with all of it.
Yep. If Lena has the instructions to take my ashes and put them into the sail barge. So whoever gets it after we've both passed on, they're going to get a surprise.
Is this true?
It's a dead body.
Is this an actual thing?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, I don't think she'll actually do it. I haven't written it in a will or something like that, but I was like, that's what you should do. That'll be real funny.
Got to write it down. I was
thinking, oh wow, he actually did that. I was like,
I kind of see
that. So the new owner, the fan is like, boom. Just like
they just open it up and just a bunch of dust comes out. And they're like, oh my God, it's a dead body. And they get a little note from me, and I'm like this. Congratulations on your new purchase. You'll have to.
It could have been the Ithorian corpse that they made in the front of the sail barge just rotting away. You can go in there. That's where they put you, in the little prison cell with that guy.
Everything about that HasLab, it's just an amazing, amazing thing. Anyways, you lovely folks, I'm going to depart. It is midnight. I've had a lovely time chatting with you. Thank you for having me as always.
So did we. And we'll have to save the space ghosts for next time.
Ghosts aren't real, guys.
They are.
May the force be with you.
I can't even do that with my fans. I'm not even going to try.
I was a Trekkie before I was a Star Wars nerd. So
I was never into Star Trek. I tried when I was a kid. I was talking to my husband about this the other day. I tried when I was a kid to watch it, like on TV. And anytime I turned it on, it was just a bunch of people and like floating around in space, and they were like talking. And I was like, okay, like, so what's going to happen? Are they going to go to actually land on a planet? Are they going to actually?
No, they just talk about stuff and it's super fun.
Just talking. They're just walking around the ship and they're talking and they're sitting in that big conference room on these chairs, different colored but similar shirts, and it's like, what are they actually doing? Like,
just imagine a Star Wars movie where Chewbacca talks about how the hyperdrive doesn't work, and Han just says it's gonna work, and then Chewbacca just hits some buttons and stuff, and then it works. That's Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek. There you go.
No, I love Star Trek. Like in the Next Generation, watch that like every week, and so much fun. And the Deep Space Nine and the Voyager and the things, and nobody cares.
Yeah, right on. Well, when you need to bounce, Dave, don't let me keep you.
Yeah, whatever. Anytime now.
Okay. Well, we appreciate you joining us this evening. And, we'll have to do it again soon. We'll have to record an episode of Cantina Chatter Podcast too. Pretty soon here.
With like a Mandalorian recap or some of these movies coming up. It'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe one like about Mandalorian, like where does it go from here? Like that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It'd be an interesting conversation.
Pretty definitive ending. So yeah, lots of speculation on season 4.
Yeah. Yep. Well, cool. Where can our friends here go to look you up online?
Oh, just Jurassic Dave 93, most anywhere on YouTube, Twitter, or Instagram.
Nice. Well, thanks again, Dave. Have a great night, and
All right. Thank
we'll
you.
see you soon. Don't forget to
Yep.
wake up early for your coronation. Not your
I will.
coronation, but
Yes.
the coronation.
Long live the king. Yes.
Love it. All right. Peace.
All right. Later. Thank you.
All right. So that leaves just me. And I don't want to leave here tonight without showing you guys some of my new acquisitions that have come in this week. But I have a furry friend here on my lap. And hey, she's not really getting along with one of these acquisitions. And I'll talk about that in just a moment. I'm going to let her out really quick. Give me 5 seconds, and I'll be right back. If we had commercials, there would have been a commercial right there. Anyway, all right, so let's talk about new acquisitions here. So I mentioned earlier, and I think I talked about this 2 weeks ago when we talked about this vintage collection ATST. It's been released multiple times over the last 13 years in different iterations. This time, the legs have been strengthened. It has been repainted to be a little more screen accurate. And I think it's the best looking it's looked, and I think that it's nice. It doesn't. I've bought other versions of this that just didn't stand. This one is an improvement. Hasbro said that they did make changes to it by going in and somehow reinforcing the legs. Now mine stood beautifully for about 3 weeks, and then I went and looked at it one day, and I saw oh, it's starting to lean forward. So I think I don't think it's the perfect ADST that I was hoping for, but it's definitely an improvement. If you don't have one, definitely pick that one up. Just like something I threw in here because we were talking Return of the Jedi. We have Wicket from Black Series, which is a beautiful little figure. I mean, he's Black Series, but he's still small. And I just think it just looks excellent. So thought I'd have him on here this evening. I also received my Black Series Cal Kestis. He came in earlier in the week. And like the vintage collection one that we looked at in my recent review, he looks good. He looks really good, actually. I think the proportions on him, the quality of the plastic, like it feels like a really nice figure in hand. Of course, he has BD1. So there's BD1. BD1 is posable. Both really nice figures. But the cooler things that I've gotten this week, and there's 2 of them here. And I'll start with this one first. So right here, this is going to be the latest Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series. Luke Skywalker's lightsaber from Return of the Jedi. So other than the original Graflex hilt, which is still my favorite, this is my second favorite lightsaber in Star Wars, and it's just the actual hilt is of really nice quality. Like it feels really nice. It's not super heavy, but it's got a decent little weight to it. And it just looks like a screen accurate, like Luke lightsaber. Like I love the polishing on it. It's like a polished aluminum. The dark copper here looks great. And then there is a fatter neck that you put on here, and you can put the blade on with that. Now the electronics in here are not that great. If you've seen a video on Hasbro's Elite Force Effects, the hilts are usually pretty nice, but the tech in them is just old. I'd love to see them switch to NeoPixel and do some really like nice stuff with smooth swing, but so far they're using older tech to sell these. I don't know why. I don't know if it's price. I don't know if it's the tech itself, but I'm happy that I have my core band NeoPixel, but I usually buy these more for like the hilt. Like they're not that fun with the blades in there, but just to have it like a hilt, like like they come with these displays, so you just set it like that. Like it's a great display piece. And I haven't set mine up yet because I don't have a place to put them, but I'm envisioning like like if you've seen Galaxy's Edge photos of them selling the lightsabers or in a case, I envision like having them like on these display bases, but like just a bunch of them like under like a light, like as if you're looking at a jewelry case sort of thing. It's a nice hilt. And that's basically why I buy those, just to have the hilt. The next thing, and this was the one thing that actually came in on May the 4th, yesterday. A few months ago, Disney started selling BD units as part of their Droid Depot assortment of. There's been things like Captain Rex from Star Tours, the DJ Rex version. There's been R2D2. There's been various droids that they've sold and continue to sell that you can build in the Disney parks. So they did a yellow and black BD1 or BD unit rather recently, and then was just revealed that now there is a actual BD1 from the games. So it's actually a pretty cool little thing. Like it. So basically, the way that it works. You have, there's a button here in the back. You can see it's got these nice lights on it. All right, then you have a remote. You turn on the remote. You got to link it first. It's a 2.4 connection. And he's just a lot of fun. Check this out. Not only that, but he actually does walk. And the way that he walks, his legs don't actually move. He's got wheels in his feet, just like that. So if I took off a couple of these or moved aside a couple of these guys here, I can kind of show you how that works. So don't want him to fall. We can go forward. You can go backward. You can spin. And he's got his sounds and his lights. I like that. I love that. It's like a little jig he does, little dance. Kind of like something is exciting to him. But one of the really cool features is the lighting on the back of his head. The lighting is a lot of fun because you can actually like toggle through different colors. So right now it's just like on blue. This is more of like a pink, violet color. More of a yellow. More of like a cyan. And then if you hold it down, you actually get like blinking. It's really cool. I really dig this little guy. And this feature in particular just looks awesome. I just love being able to change the colors. Yeah, there's even like there's the rainbow, like changes colors there. So it, just a really neat little thing. And he looks great. The sculpting on it is really nice. He's got a good little weight to him. He's probably not 1-to-1 scaled, but he's a decent size. You can rotate his head. And yes, this is what my dog hates. I saw that comment. My dog doesn't get along with BD1 quite yet. They will. They'll be best friends eventually. Head goes up and down a little bit. You can rotate his little antennas there in his ears. The legs do move. Like you can move them back and forth, but I'm trying to kind of leave it alone because I don't know like how ingrained that is into the electronic walking feature. And then you can do a cute little like head tilt like that. Look how cute he looks. He looks a little bit like the robot from Short Circuit. Number 5. He's super cute. I really like this guy. I love this guy a lot. BD1. This is actually the first like Droid Depot thing I've bought because when I've gone to Galaxy's Edge before, I've never built a droid. I've never built a lightsaber. Someday I'd like to, but I really wanted a BD1 because when I saw it, I was like, well, he's not too far off in size. Even if he's underscaled, like he's not like probably not terribly underscaled. So he's in a nice size. The weathering, I don't know if you can see how well you see the weathering on it, but the weathering is really nicely done. He's got a little opening like door right there. These little leg pieces are pegged in. And so those come off like that. So just some little neat features that probably weren't really necessary to incorporate, but he's just a lot of fun. And I believe my friend Pixel Dan, or Dan O rather, did a review video on BD1 if you want to get like the full capabilities that he can do. You can actually connect him to other droids of different kinds that are sold in Galaxy's Edge, and then they can talk to each other and do different things. But yeah, I'm really digging it. I'm really digging it a lot. He's fun. He's super cute, super cute. Good little friend to have. Well, do one more pass here in the comments and see how everybody's doing. I see that Matic says that he is down for a ghost if they do the ghost in as the next HasLab. Pico B1 says that he got a bunch of new stuff over the last few days. Fat Mac, I think, talking about I'm gonna say sequel trilogy. That's what I'm gonna go with. TVC Cal needs the 5 o'clock shadow. Did he have that? I have the TVC one on the shelf behind me. I don't know if you can spot him. He's right there. But yeah, I didn't notice that he had a 5 o'clock shadow. He does. It actually, that's one of the best 5 o'clock shadows I've ever seen on a figure. It looks really nice. Yeah, that's interesting. The lightsaber is nice. Yeah, the hilts that Hasbro does on these elites are really nice. Sometimes they're a little like oversized. Not as bad as the Disney ones, but sometimes they are a little oversized. But this one, like, it feels like they really nailed it. Really nailed it in there. That was weird. 20635. Yeah, so that is what my dog hates is BD1. She doesn't trust BD1 yet. I hope she does eventually. Yeah, Fematic says this week received the TVC Paz Mace Windu, Clone Wars, and SH Boba Fett with Throne. Very nice. I have that. I haven't opened it yet. I would like to. And yeah, BD is definitely cute indeed. Mary agrees. How many Star Wars Hot Toys do you have? I recently got into them. I now have 5 in the span of a month. So I don't know the exact number. I posted some pictures on my Instagram today of my current shelf displays for Hot Toys. But those aren't all my figures. Those are most of them. I have a few more that just aren't on display either because they're like clones or they're duplicates or whatever. Or they're just, I just couldn't fit them on the shelf. So, there's that aren't on the shelf. And then I got 2 more that I need to put on the shelf. But that's, like I mentioned on Instagram, it's kind of like that's the burden of collectors is that, we get all these collectibles and then we can't even always display them all. So like I have to rotate my displays every now and then. Doesn't matter if it's TVC or Black Series or Jurassic or whatever it is, or Hot Toys. I got to do the same thing. I got to move them around. And I want to see everything. I want to see everything, at least every little while. So I tend to move things, not often, but, every several months or whatever. But yeah, so those are what I have on display if you haven't seen those and want to check them out. But yeah, I mean, Hot Toys Star Wars is I started with one. I started with A New Hope Princess Leia in 2016. It just sucked me in. I knew that as soon as I got her, she wasn't going to be my last Hot Toys. And yeah, it's addicting. Has Hasbro ever released a TVC Rebels crew? Rhino Hobbies, welcome. No, they have not done that. They have not done that. So there is a ghost that's going to be it'll be interesting to see how they choose to handle that. Have you ever read The Hand of Thrawn books from the 90s? We got some interesting lore about the Tonica sisters in them. So hello, ruler of randomness. I don't really remember the details, but yes, I love how the Tonicas are, and Tonicas are my thing, obviously, are just you know, I love that there's a little bit of lore for Star Wars out there. Justin says, take care, everyone. See you all next time. I'll definitely go watch from the beginning. Have a great night. Thank you, Justin. We appreciate you coming in. I know that, you know, we talk about your schedule sometimes. Yeah, they are absolutely amazing. They are. That is true, and that's why they're so, yeah, love them. Well, I think that is it, you guys. We've been going over 2 hours now, so I want to thank everybody who's been tuning in. Thanks again to Tom for hanging out with us this evening. Thanks to Dave for hanging out with us this evening. Always a blast. You know, we'll be back not next Friday, but the Friday after that, because I have something going on really important that night. But we'll be back in 2 weeks. And I'm organizing my schedule for the next month. Oh, BD1 fell asleep. Sorry, dude. I was like, what is that? BD1. But thank you guys. We really care. We really appreciate you guys hanging with us. Thanks for all the questions, all the comments. And you know, our regulars here in the Cantina, our Cantina denizens. Thanks for hanging out with us. And yeah, no matter where you're tuning in from out in the galaxy, always appreciate you tuning into Cantina Social Hour on Friday nights. Be well, be safe, and we'll be back soon. Take care.